one day somebody does something unspeakable to someone else, to someone you hardly knew, and you do something about it because you can.
This story comes to us from the Houston Chronicle and deals with the topic of car searches by police. The United States Constitution protects citizens against unreasonable searches. Yet Americans have long tolerated law enforcement intrusions into their vehicles they would never permit in their homes. While police wanting to enter a house generally requires a warrant signed by a judge, the decision to search a vehicle is overwhelmingly done on the spot at police discretion. Still a Fourth Amendment violation. Police say using traffic stops to investigate more serious law-breaking interdiction is an important tactic to interrupt crimes before they occur. And there is no question. Border area roadways are used to smuggle drugs, weapons, and people. But studies have shown that most searches, especially so-called consent searches, in which police ask for permission to look through a vehicle, turn up nothing. Research has also found vehicle searches disproportionately target Black and Hispanic motorists and low-income drivers. More recently, as surveillance tools grow more widespread and sophisticated, civil liberties groups have raised questions about massive digital dragnets that identify people as suspicious based on black box algorithms. For many years, waiting on the side of the road while officers rifled through your belongings was considered a modest price for the public safety payoff. Yet some judges and researchers have begun to question whether the occasional benefit is worth the corrosive effect on trust of law enforcement or the Bill of Rights. They said, recognize that it is a little chink in the armor of democracy, said Frank Baumgartner, a University of North Carolina professor who is a pioneer in stop and search research, recently said. He said there should be little cost every time you search somebody and come up with nothing. Alec Schott's lawyer, Christy Herbert of the Institute for Justice, advised drivers to know their rights ahead of an interdiction stop. Research shows most searches occur when police ask for and motorists grant permission. Never do that. Agreeing may be the most expedient choice, but drivers are under no obligation to say yes. Courts also have said police can't use a refusal as evidence of suspicious behavior. An officer must be able to articulate reasonable suspicion of criminal activity to keep a driver past the paperwork stage. This typically is a constellation of specific observations that, filtered through an officer's training and experience, raise suspicion, heavy cologne to mask drug smell, signs of anxiety or calm, extremely clean or dirty cars, reckless or extremely cautious driving, inconsistent answers to simple questions. Courts have said that police can hold you as long as it takes to complete their traffic stop paperwork or the citation. Interdiction officers can try to draw out this process by asking a driver to sit in their cruiser while they do this or sit on the dirty ass curb. This creates an opportunity to ask questions that might reveal suspicious behavior. Hebert said unless police specifically say it is a legal detention, a driver may refuse the invitation into the police car. She added, people should be aware that what they say is probably being recorded. An officer must be able to articulate reasonable suspicion of criminal activity. Most anything can be considered as indicative of drug trafficking to law enforcement personnel, a frustrated Amarillo appellate judge wrote in 2016. An officer needs to meet a higher legal bar to search a car without permission. Probable cause is defined as specific articulable facts that lead police to believe a crime is afoot. Canines trained to smell hidden contraband are a common tool. I'm going to get back to that. But they too have limits. They may only sniff around the vehicle on initial whiff. A recent decision by the Texas Court of Criminal Appeals tossed out as unconstitutional a search in which the dog poked its nose too far into the car's open window, which was a breach of that person's Fourth Amendment. And so the dog sniffing thing, I watched a deputy once, or it was a police officer, I'm sorry, in San Bernardino, and they had a dog, and he would bang on the car, and the dog would sniff, and he was banging on the car, and then he went, and the dog went, and he goes, right here, right here, right here. And they opened the car door and let the dog inside the car. He goes, he hit on something. They found nothing, and they let the driver go. After the dog was in there jumping around with his dirty ass paws all over the guy's interior of a really nice BMW. But I watched the guy, and the dog was sniffing, and then when he went, the dog went, he goes, right here, and they opened the door and let the dog in. Did you get that, right? You caught that? That's what they do. That's a signal. And the dog's coming over, and they'll go, and the dog will hit. Yeah, that's the signal. Oh, the dog just hit on something. No, he didn't. You trained him to do that. That's their tactic. But if you're not watching, you're going to miss that. Yeah, and I've watched a few different shows on, and people are going to laugh at me for this. I don't care. I've watched shows on canine dogs, and I always see that they go, come on, woof, come on, all right, come on. And then there's a different signal or something, and the dog will go. There's a signal that they give the dog. I don't know what to tell you. All I can tell you is what I see and what I'm watching. And I'm like, see, if you miss it, I don't know. I'm going to get so many criticisms for this, but the bottom line is when a cop pulls you over and he goes, is there anything in the car that you don't want me to know about? You go, no, but you're not searching. No, I'm going to search the car. No, you're not. Get a warrant. You don't have I'm not giving you consent. Say it out loud. I'm not giving you consent to search my vehicle. No. Say it out loud, especially if they have body cameras. I am not giving you consent to search my car. So that if you get arrested for something stupid, your attorney pulls that video unless they destroy it and say, well, the data was corrupt. Or the officer forgot to turn on the body camera. It happens, That's why you always record the police. I don't know how many times I've recorded people sitting on the curb like this, no phone, no recording, just sitting there. And then they laugh at me. Dude's recording this. They're going through your car, you idiot. They're pulling your stuff up. Oh, that's my buddy. He's just doing his job. Yeah, I wish I had friends like that to sit me on a dirty curb while they rummage through my car. That is great friends, man. The best you could have. Always say no. Always record. They're not your friends. Stop laughing and joking with them. They're not just trying to inspect your car to see if it's clean. They're trying to find something to arrest you for. But you know what it is? I'm done with this. America has been indoctrinated for years. We've been indoctrinated to believe that police officers are good. They're here to protect us. They're here to do their job. They're just doing a good thing, man. They put their lives on the line every day. And I'm not saying that there are no cops out there trying to do good. I'm just saying you're indoctrinated. Stop acting like they're just good old boys just doing their job. They're searching through your stuff while you sit on the curb. They're trying to find something to arrest you for. They want to take you to jail. They're not your friend.